Okay, so greetings. This is revereskye says it. I want to make this quick, but let's see, can we see something? So I didn't search anything on this website. Again, like I said, this is National Library of Medicine. I'm sure it's a lot of things I could look at. I want to go back to trials again. I'm sure you could just go to ClinicalTrials.gov. See how it says ClinicalTrials.gov? Click on that, and it'll actually take you to ClinicalTrials.gov website. Now, I did this one. Now look at all these in here. When you click this, these just pop up. All that heart attack treatment, head or neck, and cancer, that stuff just automatically pop up. So I did parasitic diseases. Okay. I was curious about it. Let's just take the trial off. I took the trial off. Apply filters. Now let's read some of these, okay? Synonyms that mean the same. Okay, so look, those are the codes for whatever trial they're running, okay? This one has not yet started recruiting. This is important. If your brain is too impatient to listen to this, allegedly you are the problem. Now, just let me read some of them. So this is condition and disease, parasitic diseases. Not yet recruiting. Location not provided. Evaluation of feconomics for diagnosis of intestinal parasitic infection. Now this is the thing. A lot of doctors never took up parasitology. But if you look, it says viewing 1 through 10 out of 2,100 studies. Okay? But they don't know nothing about parasitology. Okay, recruiting. Infections in migrants in Sweden. The importance of malaria and other parasitic infections. So basically, malaria is a parasitic infection. And that one is recruiting right now in Stockholm, Sweden for migrants. Okay, enterobius vermucularis, infection of the appendix. You know, a lot of people get appendicitis and stuff, right? Or they get the appendix removed. This trial has been completed in Saudi Arabia. That's parasitic infection. This one is parasitic disease. This one is parasite, IBS, IBD. Y'all don't think that y'all need to study this stuff? They're recruiting for this. And Osseate, Egypt. Role of parasitic infection in inflammatory bowel disease and irritable bowel disease. This is important. Do you know how many people have irritable bowel disease and don't know why? But they're doing a study, recruiting for a study in Osseate, Egypt. This one completed in Uganda. Safety and efficacy of drug combinations against triple infections, parasitic diseases. Another Uganda. Safety and efficacy of drug combinations against trichuris trichyra. And then allegedly, this would make you think like should you even be dealing with these people from this area of the world, you know. Safety and efficacy of drug combinations against schistosomiasis. I don't know how to pronounce this. Uganda. Parasitic diseases. No longer available. So, compassionate use of, when you see Zal at the end, that's the type of medication for the treatment of parasites prior to the FDA approval. Compassionate use. For them to have to even say it in that language, to have compassion. Uh-oh. Dang. There you go. Of the compassionate use of the like, is there really like a certain level of emotion or heartfelt situation got to be toward the drug to use it? Compassionate use of triclobendazole for the treatment of parasites prior to the FDA approval expanded access program. So that might be a drug that, I don't know. Impact of hand hygiene in Ethiopia. They completed this study, intestinal parasite infections from the hand hygiene activities. Impact of hand hygiene activities on the prevention of intestinal parasite infections and anemia among school children. It might be anemia, but anyway. Okay. Mekelle, Tigray, Ethiopia. Evaluations of effectiveness of albendazole, ivermectin co-formulation versus albendazole. So they got one that's albendazole and they got one that's albendazole ivermectin for treatment of intestinal worms condition. Helminthes infestation, good grief, intestinal in Ethiopia and Mozambique. Now I'm going to tell you something. I like going to Ethiopian restaurants, but they serve a dish that's raw. It's like a beef tartare. And I mean, for the restaurants to look the way they look, their food is actually fresher than your typical steakhouse. Like, everything comes out very fresh, but they eat raw dishes over there, raw meat dishes over there. So it's funny that they're studying certain medicines on them. Okay. Alternate chemotherapy regimens for the clearance of W. Bancrofti infection. Filarial infestation in India. So they're not even going to use, they're going to use chemotherapy. Safety and efficacy study of Natarova cream rinse and Nix cream rinse in subjects 6 months or older with head lice. And this in the pediculus. So that's like your pedicure, your I can't get it over. Capitis infestation. They're doing that in the United States. Frequency of parasite infestation in patients with chronic spontaneous urticaria. in Switzerland. Chronic spontaneous urticaria. Skin disease parasitic. Evaluation of rapid diagnostic device. CL detect for the diagnosis of cutaneous leishmaniasia in Tunisia. And this is, dang, they done named the infestation after the place. Malaria elimination pilot study in military forces in Cambodia. Parasitic disease. Safety and PK study of HA44 gel under maximal use conditions for treatment of head lice infestation completed. Location not provided. With results. So that's interesting. With results. That made me start itching reading about head lice. My God, I know started. Postpartum deworming. Postpartum, that means after the worms die, how to get rid of them, I guess. Improving breastfeeding and optimizing infant growth. Intestinal disease and parasites in Peru. A pediatric safety and pharmacokinetics study of that gel. So that got to be for the head lice again. Danuba, California. Boy, it must be highly infestation or something. Ovicidal efficiency and safety of ambermetapur lotion for the treatment of head lice. Good grief. Australia. Head lice infestation right here. Study of the efficiency and safety of ambermetapur lotion. So these are trials on Yuma, Arizona, Florida, Los Angeles, Mississippi. Safety, this in Mali. Safety of the co-administration of 3 drugs for trachoma and lymphatic filariasis. Filariasis elimination. Parasitic disease, bacteria disease. Diagnosis and treatment for leishmania infections. And this is in Maryland, United States. Parasitic disease. Euglenzoa infections. Leishmaniasis, skin diseases, and parasitic. Impact of health education learning package against intestinal parasitic infections among orang asli children in Malaysia. Effects of vitamin A supplementation on intestinal parasites, reinfections, anemia, intestinal parasitic infections, malnutrition in Malaysia. Evaluation of treatment options for demodiscosis in patients undergoing cataract surgery. Cataract, demodix, infestation, demodicosis. So basically, if you have cataracts, it's a possibility, allegedly, that has to do with parasites. Mexico City, Mexico. The effect of deworming intervention to improve early childhood growth. So basically what they're saying, if you deworm a person, it's 9 out of 10 that the baby will become healthier. Whether that be deworming the baby or the parent or the breastfeeding mother. You deworm them, the parasites are not eating all the nutritional benefits, and the baby is more healthy. And development resource support areas. It's like a counterintuitive side I want to talk about on this, like the dark side of my thoughts. But I'm not going to do it because I just want you to see that y'all can look up these studies. Host response to infections and treatment of filarial diseases, parasitic infection. As you can see, all this stuff is considered parasitic infections. Filariasis, helminthesis, Manociliceus, Onochirisius, whatever it is, excuse me, Maryland. Intestinal parasites in inhabitants of Kievan, Pomeranian province in Poland. Chronic diseases. And see how chronic diseases come from intestinal diseases, parasitic? Man, y'all better pay attention. Okay. Cocamide, DEA versus permethrin for head lice. Boy, they got their head lice down packed, don't they? More head lice in Germany. Parasitic, they terminated this one. And that's in Maryland. No, I like to save them. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me see. I want to save this one too. Because I bought a book that said that's what you got to eliminate. Parasites. And this says parasitic infection of the gastrointestinal tract. The gastrointestinal tract is where your stomach and your small intestine connect. Parasitic diseases, parasitic intestinal disease, amoebiasis, cryptosporidosis, gastrointestinal helminth infections, giardiasis. Study in blood stage malaria infections after DVI of cryopreserved sporozoites. Accuracy of rapid diagnostic tests for cutaneous leishmaniasis in Morocco. Neglected diseases, skin diseases, parasitic, cutaneous leishmaniasis. Pilot study comparing the safety and efficacy of 2 dosing regimens of the TP03 for the treatment of MGD, meibomian gland dysfunction. This in the United States. Blepharitis, Demodex infestation. It's crazy. Because nobody is talking about parasitic diseases. Like people are, but they're not using the parasitic disease, allegedly, to explain people's illnesses. Let's see. Print screen this one. Uh, 1. See. Yeah, it's good to save them. I might never go back and look at them, but it's good to save. Deworming and vitamin A. Delta pre-pilot study. So are they trying to say worm infestation under 5s, malnutrition? So are they trying to say if you take more vitamin A, it helps with deworming? A study to assess the safety and effectiveness of 2 experimental malaria vaccines in the United Kingdom, Oxfordshire. Parasitic diseases, infections. So malaria is considered a parasitic disease. So if I'm just saying allegedly, if a mosquito bites you, or multiple hundreds of mosquitoes bite you, the after effects is there's some level of parasitic infestation, meaning their eggs, them being a host carrying some other type of parasite that deals with malaria. That's something to think about. So, like a ant bites you and have a pus bump and you fight it or whatever, you pop the little bump, the pus come out, or the water or whatever come out, right? Your body fights it. But then a mosquito bites you that has malaria, so malaria has to be some type, the mosquito has to be some type of host for some type of parasite. Or the eggs of the mosquito is considered parasitic. Like, it's something to think about. Evaluation of intestinal parasites, patients with intestinal cancer in Sohag, Egypt. Intestinal parasites in patients with intestinal cancer. Efficacy and safety of MOX-ALB versus IMV-ALB co-administration. Tanzania. Helminthus infection and hookworm infestation. Trichocereus. Sound like parasites do a lot. Malawi. HIV and parasitic infection study. HIV co-infections. Active, not recruiting. Unknown status. Parasitic infections in anemic pregnant women. So anemic meaning low body temperature, some dealing with blood or something. Anemia of pregnancy. Cairo, Egypt. Now they over in the desert. You would think they would not have anemia. Like, to be in that hot weather and still feel cold would be crazy, right? Activation and function of, but look, I want to say so. You see how they correlate in HIV and parasitic infection as HAPI, one study, like they coincide with each other. It makes me think about when Dr. Sebi talk about mucus in certain glands. And maybe the mucus in the glands came from parasites. It's a possibility. Hypothetically, theoretically, allegedly, right? Activation and function of eosinophils in conditions with blood or tissue eosinophilia. Maryland. Eosinophilia, helminthus. That helminthus was on another one. Immune system diseases, parasitic disease. Human African trypanosoma Okay, for them to say human African, it must be in something else besides humans. First in man clinical trial of a new medical product. Okay, they got a new medical product. Protozoa infections, parasitic diseases, Trypanosomus african. They doing this in France. Okay, evaluation SP resistance of effectiveness of IPTP in Nigeria. Pregnancy complications, parasitic. Ain't that something? Pattern of intestinal parasitic infection among cirrhotic patients in Sohag University Hospital, Egypt. Liver cirrhosis. Ain't that something? Schistomacia effective response to vaccines. Anemia and nutritional status of children, northern Senegal. Underweight, stunting, schistomacia, intestinal parasites, anemia. Evaluation of new multiplex quantitative PCR techniques for the diagnosis of echinococcus. IDIS project work package establishing a biobank at ITM and collaborating centuries. Parasitic infections, bloodstream infections, fever, salmonella infections, salmonella septicemia. Belgium, Democratic Republic, Cambodia. Pyronaridin in healthy adult participants affected with blood stage malaria, parasitic disease, malaria recrudescence, malaria falciparum, Australia. Well, I could go on and on and on. Look up, do some research, do some study. It's all here. And they're doing studies. They're doing clinical trials. They're doing everything under the sun, okay? And they're doing it on healthy people. So, man, just study, okay? I ain't got nothing else to say about it. Like, just study this stuff, okay? Study it. Research it. So there we have it. Unearth the magic. The truth will definitely set you free.